Hello, family. I am privileged today to bring you our devotion. I apologize, it was supposed to come much earlier in the week, but I still thank God for the opportunity. I thank God for today and for the word He has given me. It's coming from the book of Matthew 13, the parable of the sower. This parable is quite relevant to us, especially now that in Kenya we are heading towards the planting season. So I'll read from the book of Matthew, verse 1. Actually, Matthew 13, verse 1. On the same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the sea, and great multitudes were gathered together to him. So he got into a boat and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. Then he spoke many things to them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went out to sow, and he sowed. Some seed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Some fell on the stony places, where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up, because they had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, they were scorched, and they had no root. And because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. And then we can skip to verse 18, where we get the explanation. There are some parables that Jesus gave an explanation, and this is one of them. So verse 18, therefore, this is Matthew chapter 13, therefore hear the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of God and does not understand it, then the wicked one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is he who received seed by the wayside. But he who received the seed on the stony places is he who receives the word, immediately receives it with joy, but has no root in himself, but endures only for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he stumbles. Now he who received seed among the thorns is he who received the word, and who cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches, and choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. But he who received seed on the good ground is the one who hears the word, understands it, and indeed bears fruit and produces some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. When we look at the first explanation, there are those seeds that fell on the wayside, which is like the road, the place where they were not supposed to fall. And it says that the birds came and ate them, and Jesus is translating this to mean that the wicked one came and snatched away the word that was in their hearts. And one way that I believe the enemy does this is by causing us to doubt. Whenever we receive a word, he can plant some doubts. You could receive an altar call, maybe to go forward and receive some prayer for healing, and then the enemy plants some doubt in your mind, saying that maybe this is not, you are already taking medicine, so why do you need this? Why do you need this? Why do you need to go and get prayed for? Or some other way the enemy could use is fear. Maybe you also receive another altar call to go forward and receive prayer, maybe for people who need a breakthrough or provision, and the enemy plants a seed a thought in your mind and says that to make you feel that if you go forward, you might be the one who will be seen as the needy person. And people nowadays, it is like a shameful thing sometimes when you look like you are the one who needs prayer, and when the others appear to be doing well without having to go and being prayed for anyway. So the enemy can use fear. And it is a subject of research and debate on how the enemy is able to manipulate us with their thoughts. The scientists are trying to create devices that can interface with the human brain, some implants, and people who are medically challenged can use them to control machines or to speak. But on the spiritual side, we see Jesus, he was able to read the thoughts of the Pharisees and to respond to them. Even without them asking, he would answer their questions that were in their hearts. So I believe the enemy, the wicked one, being a spiritual being, has some level of control where he can plant thoughts in people's hearts. I actually take upon the view expressed by Rebecca Brown in one of her books that the enemy can plant some thoughts. So I believe I would want to hear from you in the comments. Which other ways do you think the enemy snatches away the seed that is in the heart? Then there are the next people, he who received the seed on the stony places. And they are said to be those who hear the word, they receive it with joy, but they had no root, and it endures only for a while. For me, this looks like as an issue of location. The seed was good, but it was put in the wrong place. And it looks to me that whenever we hear the word of God, we are encouraged to meditate. And to meditate, I believe, is trying to see how it applies to our lives, to our individual situations and circumstances. And that process of meditation, it actually is the process of looking for a good place for the word to settle in our hearts so that it can bear seed. And so if I receive the word but don't spend some time to think about how it applies to me, then it has not landed in a good place. But then we're also told that not only did the word fall on the wayside, on the stony ground, but there was also tribulation and persecution that arose because of that word. And so the enemy who was in the first instance stealing the word is still active even at this level. He is causing some circumstances to arise. So whatever the control the enemy has over the weather, because there was a time when Jesus was on the lake and there was a storm that came, and Jesus rebuked it. And I don't think that was the God could not have rebuked something that he caused to arise. So whatever enemy control the enemy has over the weather, over the economy, over the people who are subject to his will, and all other things, because he is also a prince. Whatever control he has, he can use it. He can control those circumstances to make them conspire so that we don't obey the word. And this actually points us to a battle. So sometimes it is a battle for the word of God to bear fruit. And the way we fight as Christians is to pray. So whenever I receive a word of God telling me to do something, or I feel God telling me I need to do this, I need to actually pray about that word so that I can start defending it from the onslaught of the enemy, of the wicked one, who will try to cause it to be unfruitful. And then there are those who received seed among the thorns. There are those who hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful, and they become unfruitful. Yeah, this is something that happens, and the devil is also in this, because he will show us how other priorities that are more important than obeying the word of God. And there are many. I would like to hear from you. What are some of these cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches that cause the world to become unfruitful. One of the things I have identified in my own life, and I think many people use it as well, and it is something current. There is this phrase that people say, niko na mjengo. So you have maybe something that you need to participate in giving, but because of how the mjengo has pushed you, unasema I need to I cannot do this because there is something here that I'm trying to attend to. So there are those pressing needs and situations that cause us not to obey the word of God, or maybe it is a prayer and fasting week, and that week it's a week that it is especially intense at work. So unasema I cannot participate in prayer and fasting because I need my energy levels to be high. Maybe it is end of the month, I need to do reports or whatever. See, things come and make work busy. But then there are those who receive the seed on the good ground, and they hear it and they understand it, and it produces fruit, and it 100-fold, some 60, some 30. So my desire is that we all become fruitful, and the word of God is spoken to us gets a chance to grow. I would also want to hear from you if there are some ways that God has spoken and you have seen that word bearing fruit. You can use that to encourage us so that we know that we don't always have to fall on the wayside, that the word of God can be fruitful. I want to finish by singing a short song, some lines from a song from the group Hymnos. I believe it is Pauline who brought this group to my attention some time ago when she posted a video, if I'm not wrong. And then later I'll just do a small portion, then in some time to come I'll try to sing the rest of the song from memory. It's a nice song. Majina yote mazuri ni yako, e Jehova muumbaji wangu. Nikupeni na gani, kwani jina la kiheri ni upekee wako. Majina yote mazuri ni yako, e Jehova muumbaji wangu. Nikupe jina, kwani jina la kiheri ni upekee wako. Thank you very much. God bless you and have a great day.